Oh, hello and welcome to the big Sleepover Moviecast. I'm DNA, and this is a moviecast where we currently watch a movie together. I make commentary, you listen to it, you laugh, you cry, you get mad, and threaten me on social media. It's cool, that's what it's here for. Tonight's film is going to be peak 90s. I can't really remember ever sitting down and watching this thing from start to finish. I'm sure it was on, during some sleepovers or parties or hangouts. If I did watch the whole thing, I kind of just tuned out because this film is a interesting conglomeration of hip mid 90s culture with classic Shakespearean English, which is early modern English, or for you English majors like me, Elizabethan English. And honestly, learning to understand what they're saying just takes a little bit of focus. We know that these days nobody has that kind of attention span, and I think that's why people use captions now all the time. It takes effort to listen to something you don't understand and start to decode it. However, once you do, you realize it's really not that different from modern English. Now, grammar school aside, I think you realize that tonight we will be watching William Shakespeare's Romeo plus Juliet. Yes, plus. This is the breakout film of Baz Luhrmann, who directed, produced, and co-wrote it. And the film has an amazing cast. Leo, Claire Danes, Brian Dennehy, John Leguizamo, Miriam Margolis, Harold Perrineau, Pete Postlethwaite, Paul Sorvino, and Diane Venora. This was a humongous success. Released November 1st, 1996. Eventually grossed over 147 million against its 14.5 million budget. Nominated at the 69th Academy Awards for Best Art and Set Direction. And truly, I only remember this movie for its appearance, for DiCaprio wearing that armor, Juliet's costume, Claire Danes, of course. In fact, I just finished watching My So-Called Life, and that's why I decided, oh, hey, there's that movie I don't remember watching. Claire Danes was only 16 when she filmed this. Baz Luhrmann called her the Meryl Streep of her generation. Then later that year, she turns down the lead role in Titanic. Fun fact, Claire Danes is not allowed into the Philippines because she said once publicly the Philippines smelled of cockroaches with rats all over, and there's no sewage system, and the people do not have anything. No arms, no legs, no eyes. Is that true? Is it that easy to get banned just for saying that? Come on. And the last reason I wanted to watch this film is the music selection. So a lot of popular music from the mid 90s. I remember people had this album, the soundtrack, who did not have, of course, the VHS, much less a DVD back then. So I'm eager to revisit some of those songs. Now, this will be a syncable commentary track. If you are wondering how to watch this, why don't you just pop on over to your favorite YouTube downloader, download this as an MP3, and then play it alongside the movie with a small speaker. Turn the sound from the movie down a little bit, make sure you can hear me, and we all start together. Now I have the title track pulled up. I have the Blu-ray version of this now, and it is synced at 0000. So at the very beginning, I scrubbed backwards, 0000. I'm going to count down from 3 and then say go. And when I say go, you press play on both of these items. So press play on the movie, press play on the recording of me that you've synced up to your little other speaker. Of course, you can do this in headphones, whatever you like. I recommend the little speaker approach. Alrighty, let's start this mofo. 3, 2, 1, go. Fox. Ah. Well, the English is coming across fine. We'll see how naturally these actors deliver it. Doth. She's doing a great job. Hmm. Verona Beach. Basically LA. Mm-hmm. So I was in a middle school version of this, made 1 year, 2 years after this film. That was fun. But definitely the echoes of this as a cultural thing and the coolness of it had carried over. This is an interesting start. Movie within a movie. Ooh, look who it be. So you incorporate a trailer in the credits as the credits. I see. Oh, Jamie Kennedy. Jesus. Interesting car. Shouldn't they be smoking blunts? So they have kind of futuristic cars. Ooh, the Capulet boys. Mm. The Capulet boys seem a little more prepared for a shootout. So that's what that means. Bite my thumb. Should have just flicked him off. So Boz Lerman is Australian. I do bite my thumb. They supposed to be on coke or meth. Jesus. Sword. Is this filmed? Are those Australian cars? That's what I'm getting at here. Phoenix gas, or just all made up in this pseudo universe? Leguizamo. Prince of Cats. More like rats, right? Just like the Jesus. Oh, it's not a good way to fire your gun, by the way. If you're ever actually firing, put two hands on it, aim it. You never hit anything. Jumping, dual wielding, although it looks cool. There you go. That's the way. Uh-oh. Got a Zoolander incident about to happen. What is that? He pulled out his super gun with a scope on it from Halo. Shot the fatter one. Easier one to hit. Flambe. I think gas ignites faster than that. Good imagery, man. They're right about this art direction. Well shot, well edited so far, Boz. LA riots inspired. Will there be any race relations in here? It seems like the two houses are very diverse. I guess the Montagues are white and Capulets are going to be Italian. Now, I don't know if this is in the play or not. I have read it a few times and I cannot remember each line. It's a lot of dialogue. Now, the story of Romeo and Juliet is about two children, right? So I think Claire Danes would be right about the right age, but Leo's going to be what in this? In his 20s? So he's a little moody, you know? He's a teenager. Yep. Good music cues. There's that iconic heroine Vogue. And that unnaturally husky DiCaprio voice. They found him. They located their boy who likes to go down to the shore. He tagged it down there, Romeo. That's what you do. We used to hang out in the bayous in Houston and tag those. So there you go. I mean, honestly, this place seems chill, not too packed. You got some, some dancers, some gelato, maybe. Young Leo is a very pretty human being, right? Especially compared to his cousin. Sad hours seem long. Is DiCaprio's accent New York? I like his, like West Coasty accent that he kind of affects. But I would love to see Johnny Depp in this role, right? Because okay, speaking of handsome, good God. Ugh, he definitely has a painting in his attic that is just fucking hideous. Let's have a steam. That's a man thing to do. I'd love a steam. I don't know if I'd be making eye contact in the steam room, but oh, it's not even a steam, it's a sauna. The dry. As long as you have that diffuser there, but I liked how cool it is to not wear shirts. I feel like we've gotten away from that. We've moved to a more conservative time in the last 20 years, but it's hot as a bitch out there, and I don't wear a shirt ever. We gotta like re-socialize that. Put that bod out there. I can see a joint being passed in the background there. Oh, Emmett Walsh, legend. He holds their pistols for them. Yeah. Okay. I always found her extremely attractive. Then again, I'm extremely attracted to Joan Crawford, so. Not a bad use of the speed up. Speed up is usually a very bad thing, but I mean, this film is gorgeous. 14 million? Ah, the weird girls of the 90s. Here's one of your queens. It's cool to be depressed. She has those dead lithium eyes. Mm. She nursed her? Like literally? Pill popping, whiskey slinging mama? Does Claire Danes always have to play an overly precocious character? Or is that just my so called life and this? Meryl Streep of her generation, my ass. Cleopatra. Her mom's a fox. Smoking them blunts. Mm. That was a great line. Oh. Mm. There we go. The ironic angel look. I think the 90s has two angels I can think of off the top of my head with that same look. One is her in this film. The other is the album by Nirvana, In Utero. The weird angel wings put on things. It's like a fucking rager, baby. Mercutio. Nice. Cross dressing badass. I love it. Oh, and they're in his spot, so they're just firing weapons. I thought he got shot. He's still alive. All right. I forget how that works, but oh, I don't want to touch it, but okay. Oh, dude, you just pulled it out of his grundle. It doesn't even look laminated. Great color on this these shots. Mm. I think it's time we took English to a new place and not the direction it's going. Let's go back to this. Because even Shakespeare's throwaway trash dialogue sounds so pretty. And what is that? Some acid or some ecstasy? Ooh, a little street magic on your ass. I like it too. 96, the rave era had died, but this is the fallout. And Leo looks really pale. I bet he was on heroin. He hung out with that crew, the vampires, and River Phoenix, Depp, Depp first. I mean, but again, Cobain, right? So the biggest of the bigs. I find myself enraptured in this and trying to listen, as I hope you are too. But back to the '90s era, there was the drug culture. It was very very prominent, and I don't know what you would describe the drug culture in the 2000s as, but it's scarier and more desperate with things like prescription opioid epidemics, fentanyl, whatever the fuck Flocka is. Great lighting, great set. I like to say that song, there's a song that perfectly encapsulates what you need in life, and it's called Pussy, Weed, and Alcohol. Look it up right now. And the lyrics go, Pussy, weed, and alcohol seems to satisfy us all. And that's the truth. Just took his hit. I've never done ecstasy or Molly, but know a lot of people who have. Seems like the time you would want to do that. Problem is, I would also be drinking a lot of vino. It's probably not good for your heart. I mean, none of the excess is, except for dancing and sex, but ah, yeah, Legazamo would give me a bad trip immediately. Wow. What a performance. Hard to believe, again, all these sets, they got away with all of this just by working hard. Sorvino. Ugh. Wow. Yeah, this would be a little bit too much for me, perhaps, if I'm tripping for the first time. Tripping out my paper heart, lying anywhere. Yeah, get that refreshing rinse. Parallel scene with Juliet, of course. Where's Mira? Ball. That's a stay tuned. Romeo and Michelle. Yeah, I like fish too. You know, you could find me at the party by the fish. Glub, glub. Who is that? Is that the you gotta be cool, you gotta be? I'll have to look it up later. The wet look of the 90s. Works if you had the right hair. I never had the right hair. Too short or not long enough. All right. DiCaprio's prettier than she is. That's why you see a double of him and one of her kind of off to the right. That happens though. Brad Pitt pulls that. Carrie Elways. Yes, Carrie Elways. Do they know who each other is in terms of this gangland royalty? I wonder if he had any idea how rich he would be in 30 years from now, or that he would be starring in as Ant-Man. Okay, so I like this odd collection of costumes. Why is he putting on the accent now? Oh, I don't think he had the accent earlier, did he? Yeah, don't drop the accent, dude. Just say the words in your accent. What light beyond something window break? The astronaut is always a good costume. Even better if you're an astronaut senator. God bless John Glenn. He's really trying to keep it in, isn't he? He wants to be way goofier. But I don't know. Like honestly, she would probably be into him. Between the two of them in this film, like that is not an easy choice. I wonder if they hung out. And yeah, the music is great. See how this is now within the 14 million. You see so much, but it's a very small space ultimately. These tight shots. They're not really pulling out, so it's really just a few people. Oh, look at these gendered roles, the innocent girl being pursued by the aggressive man. Hath not a dude eyes? If you prick us, do we not get bummed? The totality of her acting is just being overwhelmed and then doe-eyed. Very, very, again, traditionally gendered roles here. And yeah, if you're as hot as he is, it is this easy. And that's, the lesson in life. Ooh. And all they do is make out. He sobered up real quick, though, didn't he? You think he would be a little sweatier and a little more rambly. Now he's putting together who she is. I mean, he went to her party, so they must have known. Romeo. Mm. Look at those kind of dead eyes and really dilated pupils. Let's get armed up. you know, it's just a gun tent where you can get strapped. Well, I guess it's a collection, right? To keep the peace. Surrender your guns. I'm gonna lay down my sword shield down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my sword and shield. And Claire Danes always has that semi scowl or snark, or I don't know what you'd call it. Again, it's a holier than thou vibe she puts off. Leguizamo does do a good villain, though, doesn't he? I'm sure this was rated PG-13, but a rated R version where his dick would be out, let's do something like that. Guys, let's make entertainment for adults again. Let's have ball sacks, let's have farts and murders and squibs and just ultra gore and weird sex and everything that like used to make movies exciting. That's why we like them. Let's do it again and let's pay everyone right. And let's also, let's hire new people. No more stars, no more nepotism. Oh, there come the pipe dreams. Doom, 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 doom. Ah, the romance of a night pool. Very, very vivid in my mind. Very, very stimulating. It's the glow of the pool, the night, the cool air, mixing romance and swimming and just not being sweaty. Pool was always a lovely, lovely thing for me, and I love the visions of a night pool and all things related to pools. And maybe if I break away from doing the sleepover movies, I will go into some of my favorite classics, and The Swimmer is one of them. And that's The Swimmer, not Swim Fan, but we can talk about that one too. In fact, Swim Fan would be a good selection for this podcast, I think. God, he shocked himself. Also sneaking out and sneaking into girls' houses late at night. That is another rite of passage. I loved anything romantic, so I was a cross to bear. A man. Not if it was shitbush or whatever. Turd flower. That was a good bit of acting. My chainmail is gonna rust. Widow's peaked. Rich girl love, right? Parents had cameras. Only the rich girls' parents had cameras. Hard to commit these atrocities. I think a horny teenager would be doing something else if pushed underwater. Very well shot. Good audio. And look at the long scene. I'm not one to like close ups, but obviously this requires it. Yeah, back when delicacy was considered a turn on. What is it now? Should he spit in her mouth and choke her? I mean, what's going on, America? Put it in the comments. Explain to me what's going on. Ooh. She's definitely straddling him in that pool. I think he's 4 years older than her. So he was 20, making out with a 16-year-old in a pool. And we wonder why DiCaprio has a fetish now for 21 to 25. Also, not hating on anyone's life who I don't know personally. So DiCaprio's rich and can do whatever the fuck he wants. And I assume he's a somewhat decent person. But I do see him grabbing this child under the water, and that is weird. But that's acting. Got a last titty kiss there. Ooh. Mm, my blue balls. See, that's what you're supposed to say. Instead of I need to bust. It hurts. The underwater thing, you know? The Graduate really created an iconic scene there. I mean, what can you say about love, y'all? When it works, it's great. But it's also one thing. Life and adulthood and there are many other grander, perhaps, things than even love. But there are few things more incapacitatingly powerful. The stupid crosses. I was definitely not religious, but I wanted a cross necklace. Iconic. And also for a non religious reason, but all right. So this is kind of like a Argentina, LA. It was a sick greenhouse, bro. Of course, this guy. Nice bong, bro. So this is the monk or whoever gives them the poison. I don't know if these are his kids, but I don't think I would want my kids hanging out with this guy. I'd be like, all right, no more hanging out with Mr. Plant Poisoner. I think this is the problem with Christianity right here. Yeah, you don't want to be drinking next to your poison extraction. The Montagues know how to chill, though, right? I love the Hawaiian shirts, bare chests. Who is that as Jesus, by the way? That looked like someone. Hmm. I can't quite place it. I like that mustache sideburn combo. Hmm. That's how you do a handheld shot, right? Right. Those two orbs. You know, DiCaprio always had a weird build. Very slight, but tall, wiry, right? That's how we describe it as. Yeah, get it. Hell yeah, Prince. In fact, maybe for a lot of us, this was the reminder. That song was the reminder of why we should like Prince. In fact, yeah, for sure, that was like one of the first things I ever knew about Prince. God, I wonder if Prince was there for this. Got those bump in the trunk right now. All these other Shakespearean references. Look at that flat top. Gun kata or whatever, right? I am just putting together that guns and jewelry are kind of the same thing, especially in this film, but in real life, this explains why all these rednecks have these fancy looking guns. It's just like having a fancy car. Like, yeah, I mean, like, he's wiener chested. Like, honestly, he's pretty, but he would get bullied by these jockier jocks around him. Unless he was either deadly or incredibly intelligent, which he probably was a little of both in terms of gang life. That and you protect the pretty ones because they bring other girls, bro. That's why. Life is incredibly simple if you reduce it down to the basic needs of a human. Ooh, I'm a beach party, even if it's cloudy. As who say? Dear fear the rain. Oh, me fool me, go on and fool me. I can't care about anything but you. A while. Mm, forgot how many lines she has. Let's get back to Tybalt. Damn, how many sandwiches does she have? Four? Four sandwiches? Good pacing. Again, I don't know exactly what was cut out. Obviously, a lot, but dead eyes. Dead, unfocused zombie eyes. The boys' choir just happens to be available. I love that blue. To feel good. A lot of just random gunfire here. No cops, right? Amen, brother. But I guess this comes from the other interpretations of this play where they'd have the boys of both sides with swords, right? Jockeying, as they call it, jockeying for position. It's a big cock battle. Let's whip it out. Whip your dicks out right now. Let's stroll up with dicks out. Swang and bang. A soul patch. A dyed soul patch. Because I'm sure his hair is blackish, but like nothing is that black. This guy's neck is so thick. Hmm. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting lost in this though. This is a very good scene visually. Great color, costumes. I challenge you to a duel. Hyper pistols. Classic Leo. Smolder. He's taken aback by it. Peach fuzzy though. There's the weakness. There's always a weakness. That in his voice. What if he had my voice? Villain of my nun. Therefore farewell. See? Perfect human combinus. Also my size. I'm a much bigger man than him. and a much better beard wearer. But yeah, he's prettier and dates supermodels. So fuck you. What was that? Ouch. Where's he taking those hits? In the dick? The kidneys? What? You have broken ribs, everything. I mean, he'd be fucked. He whooped his ass easily. I mean, as he would. I don't know about grabbing a blade of glass like that and slice your fingers off. Wait, is he wearing a backpack? No, that's his gun thing. Okay. And, it doesn't even look that bad. On both your houses. I mean, he's walking away. I mean, yeah, you might die in like 4 hours, to quote the Venture Brothers, but I think you'll be okay. You might eventually bleed out. Just get to a hospital. The magical realism here coming in. I love it. The storm approaches. I mean, they built that set on that beach, which again, I'm guessing this is Australia for cheaper. That's probably also part of it. Film outside of LA. That's why they do it. Made in Georgia. I love this film stock. You know how like you can define an era by film stock? I love the film stock in the 90s before it went full digital. And if I'm wrong and this is shot on digital, okay, my bad, but this looks definitely like analog and I love this film stock. So rich. I would love to see this in 4K. Great long shot. CGI, but you know, not bad. All the angel themes. Yeah, I'm starting to worry. Like, why are her pupils that dilated this entire time? Somebody who's more of a stalker than me, put it in the comments. I want to know why she's cracked out. She's on Ritalin, lithium, what? It's crazy to think how we gave such intense drugs to our kids. I mean, not me personally, but just as another fellow human being. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't street race. Too fast, too furious. Romeo fucked them up, though. That's that psycho behavior that freaks you out, right? I don't know what to do there either. Yeah, no way you'd hit anything. Look how much he's shaking. Miracle if he hit him. Had a little zit there on your lip. That sucks, bro. It must be nice if that's the total of your skin problems, too. Yeah, why is there blood on his face? It's not his blood, right? It's Mercutio's. Rapier. Yeah, I don't understand the Christianity themes. Like, someone want to explain that to me? Other than it's iconic. It's not how rain drops. It must be a rain machine. By the way, that's obviously a Hamlet reference, right? To Ophelia floating there from that painting with the foliage around her. But again, well done. Damn, you know, like fuck. Nitpicking at things, but 14 million gets you a big rain set too. Ooh, I like him a lot. Back at the pool once again. To be banished. Young boy goes to see his priest when shit hits the fan. Great long shots, good set decoration. I mean, true. Even in the original play, right? It was self defense. R plus J. Get thee to a nunnery. I mean, beyond the innocence here, and again, in these times, what was Juliet except just a woman waiting around? She didn't kill anyone, did she? So, beyond just the innocence alignment, what's up with all the fucking Mother of Mary shit? Again, it was just an iconic thing. Had no basis in Christianity, but I think it warped people. Simulated lightning. That's stupid hair and stupid bangs, but of its time. So wet. Girl. Praise God that I finally found you. 'Cause all my life. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, making eye contact. 20-year-old, 16-year-old. Great shot. Poor Paris. What did he do? He didn't do anything. He's just trying to chill, and he's good looking, and he wants to be part of this arranged marriage. Let's fire some guns. That'd actually be a good character development. I mean, show where the gang mentality of the youth came from. From the gang mentality of the father. God, I love blue. I want that rug. Mm. Oh, the blanket scene. Again, very iconic. And who didn't do this? Post fact. What a great room. I. Mm, I think we just saw a little bit of butthole there. Leo, what are you doing, man? Mm, you would have heard that. Dead eyes. Mm-hmm. It's hard to develop this character, though. I mean, what is her interest? Be married or marry herself? That's all she's good for? Damn, women. I get it now. But at the same time, if I'm to respect you, what else do you have besides attractiveness? This was my role, Lord Capulet. Aw, rich people problems. You know? It's always been rich people problems. Yeah, I mean, good acting. It's well shot. It's an iconic love play, but this scene, you just have to analyze it. Like the drama here for her is just so stupid compared to today's pains, right? So, any other time you hear about rich people complaining, it's like, okay, okay, look at your house. So, don't have a lot to say. I do prefer when they use the Shakespearean English in modern slang kind of timbre. And yeah, why wouldn't she marry Paris? Look at Paris. God, he is a good looking motherfucker in that pinstripe. He's not even creepy at all. Although, I mean, what she's wearing is creepy. And yeah, she is a child. But I don't think we know how old Paris is, really. And again, 1600s England, who knows what went down, right? So I'm sure there are lots of child brides, unfortunately. This is 2 years after Clueless. So he was kind of riding off that, but like not finding his niche. And then Wet Hot American Summer is what, 3 years after this? I'm not really up on his career. It's just been remarkable. Is the cross just explaining why they would trust? There's her big scene. Is the religious imagery just to show why they would be relying this much on their friar? There, her eyes are a little less dilated because she's staring into the sun, but still kind of dilated, right? Yep, going right back to it and dead. Look how pinpoint his are, though. I am a master of chemicals. Why are we supposed to consider him the villain, though? Like, what's wrong with him? Why show that scene? He's an affable, incredibly handsome, nice dude who hasn't done anything wrong. You could at least change that part. Oh, God, dilated eyes again. Now, see there, look, pinpoint, dilated. I mean, y'all call it what it is, but I'm seeing it here. HD is a biatch. This liquor will get you drunk. I'm on my crunk juice. Woo! Oh, is this Breaking Bad? Yeah, I bet a lot of people were on meth. This definitely looks like Australia. This doesn't look like America, but we'll have to check that out. On my pimp juice. Ooh. Yeah, I think the length of this movie also puts it back. Like, ooh, how pretty is only so. God, her eyes are fucking dilated and dead. She has the little anime spots too. The length is an off-putting factor. I, as a child, my attention would not really care this much, regardless of all of them, because we know what happens. It's like Titanic. We know what happens. I'm not caught into it. I'm not into the characters. These characters are universal characters by this point, right? I mean, some of the most ancient yet continuously displayed characters. We get it. This is love, but okay. So I was a substitute teacher, and I was teaching an English class, and I had some notes from a teacher about how I had to say when we were talking about Romeo and Juliet that the actions are is it okay to commit suicide? No, right? So we had to preface that now, and thinking about love. And despite my comment earlier on this very track, God, I love that blue. Now her eyes could be dilated. Now it fits the narrative. But despite what I said earlier, love is everything, though, isn't it? But it's not. It's not sacred, and it's not mysterious, and it's not one time only. Love is a choice, and love is a promise, and love does possess returns. You do get an energy, and you get a focus and a peace. And by peace, I mean calmness that I think you don't get otherwise. But I don't know what it's like sustained over 20 years, other than I've watched it and it disappears. Love is for lovers. Love is for the youth. Love is for crazy, reckless abandon and smoking cigarettes to the fucking filth. Iconic. Love that blue again. I'm sure that was like a shit brand back then, but that shirt is great. I want it. And love should be make or break. I've often said, like, I don't want to get married. I want a blood oath that the only way out is death. You give me that, then I'll understand. Last thing I know is love is not a secret. And if you can't speak to it, and if you haven't spoken to it, and you haven't shared it, then you haven't really shared. But there is a passion. And it wasn't until love that sex made sense. And primarily because it was probably reared on movies like this, where sex has to be this magic moment at midnight with cerulean blue pools and soft music and crickets in the background and quiet and no rush, and hours take hours, not seconds. And there's no job or phone, work email. There's just staring oddly and touch and kiss and being inside of someone. Here's the slobbering Leo, you know. Leo slobbers in how many roles? Acting my dick out. The poor donkey in the distance, man. He doesn't want to hear that shit. Great color again. Go Baz. What a shot. What a time, though, you know, in the 90s. We had to make it real. And I will say that the live or die thing was very strong in the 90s, especially the early 90s. And that's why a lot of people died. But are we to say it was wrong? Well, that's the study, friends. That's the discussion. That's what the podcast should be. Not worrying over who we offend, but realizing just who matters at all. The more of us there are, the more of us who sit here and record podcasts and pollute and pollute and pollute the airwaves. What does it matter? It doesn't. I think we accepted that. Those of us who grew up and were teenagers in the 90s, we accepted it. Ugh, sweaty sleep is not a good sleep. I would not be happy. Ugh, take off that jacket, bro. It's hot. There you go. He's cleaned up, wiped his face off. I mean, I'm being in the pool. Okay, so I lied earlier. There are police, this dude, but at random times. Yeah, I like him better. All right. Again, rich kids getting rich kid things. It's amazing how we hid fidelity for so many years. Looking at this now on Blu-ray, only released in the last 10 years. I want to see this in 4K, 8K, whatever, but I mean, it's just 35 millimeter film. Why couldn't we get this and look at this? But we couldn't. We couldn't figure it out. So we watched shit, which also I think helped the fantasy. If this movie was streamable anytime in HD, like everything is now, would it be popular? Car culture still goes on, doesn't it? I like cars, but like car culture, goddamn 90s, 2000s. Gotta have a ride, man. Gotta have a whip. Gotta commute everywhere in LA and in Houston. Big chase scene. Pretty well edited, honestly. I mean, it's fast, but it's not disorienting. Yep. DiCaprio with guns. It's before or after Basketball Diaries. Yeah, good lord, the gun fetishism of this is incredible. I can see why this was so iconic, though. It's PG-13, but it's barely kiddie. It's kind of boofa at the beginning, and mostly adults, and the kids are just stark, live or die, whatever. And again, there's only one woman, aside from an old maid and a pilled out alcoholic mother. There's one woman, and she's just kind of a virginal creature waiting to be fucked. So, women of the 90s, what did you make of this? Is this is this your hero? Is Claire Danes your hero? Not that Romeo is my hero as a male. I uh I am confused by why this is so powerful, other than the colors. The cross over cross thing is just needs to stop. I didn't realize how much of that is in here. And probably this movie is to blame for that fucking bullshit ass 90s cross fetishism. Marky Mark, rap. No one was really religious. Again, it was image, but to what extent other than cool? And that's it, I guess. That explains this stupid shit going on now. But What a fucking set again. Well done. No wonder. They should have won. I wonder who won that year. Because they did not win, but I also know the religious thing was very, you know, of Shakespearean time, important, but I guess the reason I'm rambling like this and thinking about this is that I'm trying to decide what I'm going to say the final opinion is here. I definitely have never sat down and really watched this like I am now. So, is she flinched? Is this a good film or is this just okay? Right now, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because of how beautiful it is. Decently acted. The child actors, or one child actor, and then Leo did a good job. Good supporting cast. It's an odd combination of cultures, which I like. It is not necessarily racist, but not necessarily, quote, woke. 6 out of 10, man. That's a good rating. Got to get this in 4K for sure. Do a rewatch. I'm not a big up close shot fan. Even in classic films, you know, when they would hit him with a soft light, I just don't care. These parts should be minimal. I of course like space and actors moving in space, you know, but from a love standpoint, I want to be close and I want to touch and stroke hair and hold hands and all these nice things, little touches, softness. And she's clearly alive, so why would he kill himself? She just moved. She's moving again. So he would feel that, right? Yes. No, he would not do this part, according to this movie. But what a hell of a fucking concept. Shakes, you know, probably based on a real story. Two people who couldn't be together killed themselves. What better way to define love than with death? Opposites. But again, love is a moment. I know people who are in love will say that their love lasts, but no. What happens is you grow a dependence, and people have shamed that term, but that's what it is. You grow a dependence and a reliance, and then it shapes your life and your behavior. And you have this need, you have certain needs that it gives you as a partnership: attention, love, conversation. All right, well, you're awake, stop him, and then. All right. She would wake up more. They didn't even show him drink it. You didn't leave me any. Yeah. In Shakespeare, everyone dies either suddenly or not at all and talks for like 5 minutes. She had some really grimy nails, to be honest, you know? Wonder what that meant back then. Wonder if she smelled bad. Hipster bullshit, you know? Good job. Good job, Leo. Uh, Listen, nobody knows how to die, all right? It's not one of those things you know how to do at age 17 or 20. If you do know how to die, or if you practice dying, like a girl I knew told me, it's just something unexpected. Good shot. But way too much Jesus. But great shot. Okay, stab yourself and let's go. At this point, all right. Uh, you uh, at this point, we know what's going to happen. I would almost rather the movie cut this part out. Move on. Oh, yeah, right. Sorry. Swords or guns. Yeah. Yeah. So shoot yourself. Let's go. Oh, post Kurt Cobain, man. Biggest suicide of the decade. Biggest suicide of all time. Was it a suicide? Who knows? Questions often never have a solid answer. I like how dark this film is because it's Shakespeare, but Baz did a great job too. Kudos to you, sir. Be more blood. A lot more. Not that tiny of a hole. Ugh, he recovers. You could keep the back and forth going for like quite a while, right? You could be like, and now wait a minute, hold on. Let me think back for a minute. So Romeo knew the priest first, right? But the priest is universal between the two houses. Okay, I guess. But Romeo went to the priest first, so Romeo should know about the sleeping medicine that makes you seem dead and then you come alive, right? I mean, am I mistaken on that? We end in water. The theme of water is universal with love. I really do believe, especially in the 90s, especially with pools. I'll have to track other examples of that, but there's a great one that I will do with y'all from the 2000s too, where again, all first love can be perfectly represented by getting in a pool together. So if anybody ever like talks to you about pools, I know this is like the third time this movie cast that I brought up pools, but if anyone ever talks to you about pools, you should take heed. Listen. This guy never chills out, does he? Irish and Italian? I guess that's what it is. Irish and Italian. So you have the white and then the Irish, even though it was mostly Hispanic slash whatever, in terms of the casting. But I think that's what it was. And that's what Baz is trying to do here. And that is, by the way, a conflict in New York. But this is not New York. This is Australia. Good ending. I like black. And I like the patience you have to see this. You know, erupt in applause. Great, great fucking play. Screenplay, great fucking film, awesome cinematography. Donald, you did a great job. Oh, editor Jill? Okay, I thought he edited it, but amazing. Um Great soundtrack. Uh Again, I already mentioned it. 6 out of 10 would be my rating. Good acting, beautiful photography. I got to get this on 4K if and when it comes out. Very 90s. Good discussion on love. Go back and listen to that, right? What is love? Paul Rudd, you son of a bitch. Again, Paris, innocent character. Anyway, I love y'all. Take care. Bye.